Alright, this is it. Yeah, boys, Strun Prime coming up tomorrow together with the Magnus Prime, and hopefully Battle Von Kit here will be bringing the relics for the AK Magnus Prime. That's how it would go, right? Now, there's a certain thing going around the community saying that, listen, we didn't get the AK Magnus Prime together with the Nidus Prime because maybe Battle will bring the relics just like it is for the AK Lex Prime and the AK Vasto Prime, if I remember correctly.
Yes, AK Vasto.
Yeah, AK Vasto, that's it. So maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. But until then, let's have a look at the stats because the stats have been published. You can find her over on the Warframe wiki. So Mastery rank 10 for the Strun Prime. Mastery rank 10, that is actually pretty good, to be honest. It's a pretty low mastery. It's a shotgun, it's hit scan. Noise alarming fire is 3.33 with accuracy of 9.1, so shotgun territory. Magazine of size with ammo max of 120 and a reload of 4.5 seconds. Oh my god. You know what this tells me? You know what this tells me? This tells me they kept the shot-by-shot reload that the Strun has. That's the only explanation why it would have a 4.6 seconds reload. You know, you go shot by shot by shot, essentially. Riven disposition of nothing, boohoo and all of that. The damage layout you got, impact the highest, which in this case, I was about to say might not be a bad thing because we can use the impact to slash mod, but then I remembered that does not apply to shotguns. So there you go. The impact to shotgun mods are only for secondary weapons and for rifles, not shotguns. That's a bit of a kick in the arse. Second is gonna be slash and puncture is gonna be last. Of course, we'll have a look at the status chance. Total damage is 528, 45% of it being impacto. How many pellets do you fire? Where does it say? 12. Alright, we got multi-shot of 12, so 12 pellets by default, explaining that huge amount of damage with a single shot. Range of 300 meters. Status chance is going to be 6.67, but that's going to be 6.67 per pellet. Okay, you got 12 pellets by default. Crit chance of 24. Especially considering the new mods now, okay, the minus fire rate mods on a semi-automatic weapon such as the Strun, that is fantastic. It's going to help us. 24% is not that terrible. But please, dear Digital Extremes, we are still waiting on Prime Blunderbuss. At this point, I think it's like a, whatchamacallit, like a urban thing. We always been asking for Prime Blunderbuss, but no, Sega. I was just looking at the fire rate, 3.43, and if you're gonna take 20% away from that, yeah, that's definitely gonna be fine. We are gonna be able to use the 200% critical chance and minus 20% fire rate for shotguns. I think that's it. 200 crit with minus 20% fire rate. Please double check that for me, Miss Victoria. 2.2x critical multiplier, that's pretty good. Punch row of 0.8 meters, which is going to be good enough to go for the Grenil shield. Dude, damage fall off, 100% damage up to 26 meters. That's good. 26 meters is more than enough considering that the accuracy of the weapon is going to be 9.1. Pretty good. 50% damage fall off at 52 meters. 50% damage fall off, again, not so bad. I'm going to have to see if adding the mod that increases the projectile flight speed on a hit scan weapon would actually increase the damage fall off or not, but to be honest, 100% up to 26 meters from my point of view is more than decent. XLS polarity is gonna be a Y, and I think that's actually working to our advantage, and the weapon has only a single dash polarity. Wow, that's a bit of a kick in the schnazola, if you know what I mean. That's awful on polarity. That's gonna mean at least a 4-forma build for this puppy. Now, that said, I know what you guys care about most and most. You want to see the comparison, not to the Strun, not to the MK1 Strun. By the way, this is the 4th Strun, believe it or not. You want to see the comparison to the Strun Wraith, which is actually a pretty powerful weapon on its own. So let's take a look. Compared to this one, higher base damage per projectile, 44 instead of 40, that's going to be a 10% increase. Lower impact damage, 19.8 versus 26. So the Wraith was a lot more weighted into impact damage. You got higher puncture, 6.6 instead of 6, another 10%, and a lot higher slash. So you can see what they did with the damage layout here. They gave a lot more power to slash, right? And took away some of that impact. Impact, however, will still be proc priority number 1. It's not gonna matter because we can use hunter munitions on the weapon, and considering what we already talked about crit with that 24% base and a 2.2x critical multiplier, hunter munitions is gonna be easy mode gameplay every single day. Yes, I'm fully aware you are bored of hunter munitions. I am too, but what can you do? Digital Extremes apparently is cool with it and have been for the past 3 years, I want to say, something like that. Higher total damage, 528 versus 400. Please excuse me. That's what, 30%? 32%?
That's a lot.
That is a lot more damage than the Strun Wraith. And again, the Strun Wraith is not exactly a slouch. That's a pretty good weapon. We got higher base critical chance, 24 instead of 18, and lower base status, 6.67 versus 12. Are you kidding me? The Strun Wraith had 12 per projectile?
Yeah,
But I think it fired 10 projectiles. Let's have a look at a Strun Wraith really quick, huh? What do you say, Sober? What do you say? Strun Wraith, here we go. Oh, wow, yeah, status chance was 12 with 10 projectiles. Now, again, this doesn't tell the whole story. Yes, indeed, the Prime has a lower status chance per projectile, 6.67, but it fires 12 instead of 10. It's still a lower status chance overall, but it's not as bad as you might think. So do bear that one in mind. Higher average damage per shot, 680 versus 486. Higher burst DPS, burst, because I like my burst. Now this does actually tell the tale of a shotgun, my friends. The burst damage comparison, 2.2 thousand versus 1.2 thousand. It's
That's
not double,
That's a lot.
but it's 85% more, 85% more. That is absolutely insane. Higher sustained DPS is going to be 900 versus 540. Farther starting damage fall off, 26 versus 15 meters. Again, another huge increase because, to be honest, damage fall off at 15 meters for a shotgun is already decent. 26 is going to be outstanding. Keep in mind though, you still have that 9.1 accuracy, so you are going to be limited, if not by the fall off, you will be limited by the accuracy one way or another, of course, depending on how you build your gun. Farther ending damage fall off, 52 versus 30. Higher fire rate, 3.43 instead of 2.5. That means we're going to be able to take the plus crit minus fire rate mod and not feel any difference versus the Strun Wraith when it comes to actual gameplay and handling. Higher multi-shoot. We got multi-shoot, 12 projectiles versus 10 projectiles. Faster reload, 4.6 versus 5. More accurate, 9.1 versus 6.7. Lower dispo, 0.5 versus 1.35, which is basically 1 versus 4, I think the Strun Wraith has. My friends, at first glance, you would say it wasn't... Yeah, it's 5 out of 5 on this one. At first glance, you would say that the Strun Prime doesn't really offer a huge benefit, but it does. Honestly, this is a huge buff to the weapon. Obviously, the caveat is gonna be the Riven disposition. Riven disposition is a lot lower. Strun Wraith can make up that ground with a more powerful Riven. Overall, I'm happy with the buff. These should be the stats, and of course, I will bring you guys a full and detailed guide as per usual as soon as I am able to. Now, yes, of course.
One thing I should note: if you
Absolutely.
actually look at in the stats above again,
Yes,
like
of
where it
course.
says the damage, projectile speed, it
Yes,
says
yes.
normal. So people assume there's gonna be a second mode.
But there is no
says-
second mode.
Yeah, I know, but like, why does it say normal?
It says the same on Strun.
It says this is on the Wraith as well. Normal. Look.
Okay, never mind then.
Oh no. That's a very good observation. I dig it. But I don't think it's gonna have a secondary fire mode. At least not by judging from this information right here. I don't think it'll have a secondary fire mode. But you know what? If it does, that's fantastic. What kind of secondary fire mode you can look at? Maybe something like to unload the entire magazine in rapid succession. That's easy for the E to do. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
like
kind
a
of thing.
Kubak.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is on a lot of weapons.
Yeah, that's the thing. But it would work on the Strun Wraith, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Like that. Oh, that would be fantastic.
Or just shoot the whole magazine in one full shot, like BAM! And
Yeah, like heck.
You're talking
Like,
about unloading
yeah.
the entire magazine in a single shot. Like think about it like this: it fires 12 pellets by default, right? Put in multi-shot, you're looking at 35 pellets, right? You got 35 pellets, maybe even 40 pellets, and multiply that by the entire magazine, which was what? 6? No, 10. Yeah, was 10? Yeah, it was 10. So multiply like, and then you get like 400 pellets out of a single shot. How would that be? Huh? 400 pellets.
that's a lot of damage.
400. I mean, if you would start to count now to 400, probably my whole stream will go away by the time you finish. That said, though, Magnus Prime, my friends. Magnus is an upcoming Prime variant of the Magnus with improved to its critical chance, critical multiplier, and status chance, and slightly faster reload of the speed. It will be released alongside Nidus in the Prime and Strun Prime. Alright, let's see it. Mastery rank of 0. Fantastic. Secondary pistol, semi-automatic as per the usual. Ammo type is gonna be pistol. Hit scan, alarming fire rate of 5.83, accuracy of 16, which is this is basically pinpoint accurate, right? If you use Magnum Force, these are not the type of guns to use Magnum Force on, and considering all the brand new galvanized mods that you got in Warframe, honestly, I don't think we're gonna be seeing a whole lot of builds including Magnum Force. Magazine size of 8, ammo max is 210, it's not relevant. Reload on 1.2 seconds, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, but you gotta keep in mind that that magazine is awfully low at 8. Now an AC version would probably have like 16 with a reload of 2 seconds or 2.4 if D really wants to copy pasta X2 like they do on some AC weapons. And of course, they bring the brand new weapon. You got Riven disposition of nada. Total damage, how much we got? 76, 45% of it being impact. But hold on. This time the argument does work. We do have the secondary version of what's called Hemorrhage. I think the mod's called Hemorrhage. Impact 2/ mods for secondary weapons. So we can definitely use that if the status chance will allow. Does the status chance allow? And you're gonna say, yeah, 28% is fine. Not really. Because you see, this is a semi-automatic shot-by-shot weapon. If this would have been a 45, I would have been a whole lot more comfortable. Hey Laser, how's it going, pal? Hey man, we're just taking a look at the stats of the brand new Prime weapons which are gonna come out tomorrow. After that, you got pretty close impact, and after impact you got pretty close puncture and slash, which is not ideal, actually the same amount, 20.9. I would have loved to see slash a little higher, all in all considering, but what can you do, my friends? Beggars can't be choosy. Again, the hit scan range is 300 meters. Fire rate is 5.8, the multi-shot is 1, so 1 per shot action basically. Critical chance 28, status chance 28, critical multiplier way above average at 2.8x. Warm tea for my throat. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, status chance is okay at best considering what type of weapon you're dealing with. Critical chance is 28%, and the critical multiplier again is quite nice. XLS priority is gonna be a dash. Now a dash helps with it will help in case the weapon has a nasty recoil and you need to use stabilizer. That means we're not gonna have to format that XLS slot, which is definitely a good thing. And I'm betting on a pretty ugly kick. You know, I'm betting on an ugly recoil for this one. Polarity is none. Mama, what? I refuse. I refuse.
Yikes.
I don't. No. You gotta keep in mind that all the information we are presenting now is pre-release information, right?
So,
by tomorrow, things may change. I refuse to believe they're gonna launch a goddamn Magnus Prime with no polarities. Hey! You better put some polarities on there. People don't want to waste like a million hours farming 1,000 times. Trust me, I know. And that's pretty much it. Now, let's see a comparison. It's hard for this one because you get a Magnus Prime. And normally people don't really use the normal Magnus. The few people that actually use Magnus use the AC Magnus. Get it? And again, the hope is that Battle Key tier will bring relics for the AC Magnus Prime. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, whatever you can cross. Go and cross them. Now the comparison between the normal and Z Prime. Higher base critical chance 28 versus 22. Higher base critical multiplier 2.8 versus 2.0. Higher base status chance 28 versus 22. Higher average damage per shot 114 versus 92. Not a huge increase. Higher burst DPS 666.39. Almost 667 sober. Almost, but no cigar. No cigar, buddy. Versus 540. Higher sustained DPS 355 versus 267. Fast reload 1.2 versus 1.4. Different polarities, none versus Y. Yeah, basically the normal Magnus has a Y. I refuse to believe that they're gonna launch the Magnus Prime with no goddamn polarities. Again, I think at least 2 Ys, or not, if not 2 Ys and a dash in there for the normal mod slots. Lower mastery rank 0 versus 10. Again, I don't know about this. It seems a little bit on the weird side. And the Riven disposition, of course, 5 out of 5 versus nada. Oh, I mean 1. It's like basically nothing anyway. Very small buff. Very small buff from my humble point of view for the Magnus Prime. Unless it's got some kind of quirky gimmick Like for example, you know how the Piranha has a quirky gimmick. Now granted, that Piranha gimmick doesn't actually increase its power by a whole lot or anything, but it does give it personality, it does give it an extra little bit of salt, if you know what I mean. Yeah, a bit disappointed with this one, but I'll guess we'll see tomorrow. And that's pretty much it for the stats. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, channel, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Say bye, guys. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.